what's up everyone? Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Master Reviews here, and today I figured I'd do something that has been on this channel before, but never by anyone else. So I wanted to do, for quite a while, I wanted to do something for James Labrie, and since a new album is coming out from him, I figured maybe I should try and do him now and get prepared for when the new album comes out. And I thought, okay, what can I do for him? And I instantly thought back to Labrie, and he had done what we call Abridged retrospective, and I thought, that's perfect. I've wanted to do something for James Labrie for quite a while, so I'm like, yeah, doing a Abridged retrospective for James Labrie. So, his solo career started in 1999, late 90s. He and Matt Guillory, keyboards, backing vocals, and all that stuff, and production and all that stuff, production and writer and all that stuff. They came together, and he wanted to do something solo-wise. So, obviously, through the lineup changes, like Mo Muzzler to James Labrie's Mo Muzzler, and then to just James Labrie. He's gone through many, and I mean many, lineup changes with notables such as, obviously I mentioned Matt Guillory. He's been, as far as up to this point, up to the more recent album that James Labrie is about to put out, well, which I will review. Obviously there's been Matt Guillory, Marco Spogli, who has been Labrie's second favorite lead guitar player, only behind Petrucci, and Marco has been with James since Elements. We'll get to that one, and he is on the new one when I talk about it. Peter Wildoer from Darkane, he does the drums and he does harsh vocals. As far as I'm aware, on the two recent albums, not the new one, but the two most recent albums, Peter Wickers, we'll get to him. He's contributes on an album with Labrie, and also this unknown guy. He recently joined Dream Theater not too long ago, and he's a drummer too. I'm like, what was his name? I don't know, an unknown guy by the name of, I don't know, Mike Mangini. Maybe some of you might have heard of him, but obviously he has done, not counting the new one, but you do see it in the thumbnail of this video, 5 studio albums, with the 6th one coming out near the end of May. So 2 under the Mo Muzzler name and 3 under just his name, James Labrie. Obviously, the 2 under the Mo Muzzler name, which were released 99 and 2001, with the latter Mo Muzzler 2 being released on, coincidentally, 9/11. Yeah, we all know what happened that day. But those were released on Magna Carta. I don't know much about that label. Maybe I'll update and put something. But then the most recent outings have been on Inside Out Music, which serves as kind of the prog rock, prog metal label for Century Media. Obviously, music-wise, the Mo Muzzler ones are basically Dream Theater if they were more jazzy. Much more of a jazzy prog metal approach. Kind of similar to stuff like from Images and Words and Awake, obviously. It's when we get to Elements that we start getting a change in the style. This is where it gets a little bit heavier. Think Dream Theater when they did Train of Thought, but a lot more new metal. So I listened to a little bit of it, and I could clearly hear the new metal. But he mentioned, I think Labrie mentioned names like Mudvayne, my hometown band from my hometown of Peoria, Illinois, Meshuggah, Linkin Park, and some of this. And I could clearly hear some of that new metal / alt metal style. Some of those bands. Didn't know why Meshuggah, because considering at the time they were starting to get into the gen sound. but I could clearly hear some heaviness, and this is where he got heavy. Also, this is where Marco enters the picture, and this will be the last one with Mike Mangini, but it wouldn't be the last, as he would later join, like I said, Dream Theater later. After this one, well, he would do other stuff, but he would join Dream Theater later on, maybe half a decade later. But yeah, the Elements of Persuasion, from what I have heard, fantastic. Then we get into the good stuff. And like I said, Elements is the first one where he joined Inside Out. The next ones are where he goes into a much more melodic death metal style. Gone is obviously Mike Mangini and Brian Miller, who at that point have been with him since the Mo Musler albums. He left. Both of those guys out there are replaced by, obviously, Peter Wildoer on the drums and doing harsh vocals, and Ray Riendo on the bass. And oh my god, just hearing a little bit of this, so damn good. So damn good. And they would perfect that sound once again on an album I actually own, and I'm so glad I happened to own this. Impermanent Resonance. I'm so glad I happened to own this. It's kind of a continuation of what they were doing on Static Impulse, the melodic death metal style. But he also recruits, like I mentioned, Peter Wiggers. This is the one and only, so far, the one and only album he helps contribute onto a James Labrie album. And yeah, the solos he does on here, has some writing credits on here, and I'll look at some of the songs he has helped written on today. I have the booklet right here. He's helped co-written Agony, Sleight of Hand, Lost in the Fire, Letting Go, Destined to Burn, and I Will Not Break. So he's written 6 of the 12. And this one's the bonus one because it had a few tracks added on there. But Peter doesn't contribute on there. He also helps co-produce this album. He helps co-produce this album along with James Labrie. But freaking Maculary, as you can probably tell on there, that he helped co-produce, co-wrote, and he helped contribute some of the guitar, some solos and stuff like that. But yeah, I absolutely love this album. It's fantastic. This is probably, to me, as much as I love some of the other stuff, I love Elements of Persuasion, I love Static Impulse, but this is easily my favorite. Which brings us to the new album, Beautiful Shade of Grey. This is the 6th studio album from James Labrie, released yesterday, May 20th. Via Inside Out Music, and we have a new lineup, like I mentioned in this video. Obviously, Marco Spogli comes back. You can see lineup is right here. But I will mention who else has joined James Labrie and Marco. Obviously, like I said, Labrie on the vocals. He is the centerpiece. Marco, somewhere the picture far left, but you might see it differently. But you got some new additions to this. Paul Luge, he does 12-string rhythms, and he does the bass. Christian Pulkkinen on the keys. These two are from Eden's Curse, a band that James Labrie has had history with. He did a single with them called No Holy Man. And on the drums is Chance Labrie. James Labrie's son joins them on this. Yeah, this is a change in the style from what they were doing on, say, Impermanent Resonance and Static Impulse, where that was more on the melodic death metal side, but you know, there's still moments of that style apparent, as in songs like In Devil and Drag. You know, that's probably the only one I can see that's kind of resemblance of what he did previously. But obviously the album in and of itself is acoustic driven. Although there is some moments of where there is some electric parts. Obviously the electric version of Devil in Drag sounds a lot way better in the electric version. Love it. Love both versions actually. But I think I prefer the electric version more. Supernova Girl is kind of got some electric guitar solo on here. Jesus. But there is probably one song I do not care about. I think even there's the cover. There's a cover of Ramble on here. I knew, I was like, I recognize that name, and I was like, yep, it's there. It's a cover of it's a Led Zeppelin cover basically. But there is one song on here I do not care for, and that is Wildflower. It just, when I was listening to it, it did not appeal to me. I did not like it. So it's a weak moment on the album, but the rest of the album is fantastic with songs like I said, Devil in Drag, Supernova Girl, Give and Take, one of the singles. Am I Right was a great one. The cover, Ramble On, was good. Conscious Calling / What I Missed kind of goes hand in hand with each other. Sunset Rain was a beautiful ballad, kind of similar to what they were doing on the previous album, like I think Holding On, Lost in the Fire, Say You're Still Mine, you know, kind of very similar to that as well. But I give this new album, Beautiful Shade of Grey from James Labrie, a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great album, and I absolutely love it, and we'll definitely be getting it. So there you go. This has been my James Labrie Abridged Retrospective. If you enjoyed this, click the like button or the dislike button, whichever floats your boat. Comment below what your thoughts are on all these albums, including the new one. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. We are now on the road to 300 subscribers. And also click the notification bell so you get notified when we post a video or go live. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. This has been my James Labrie Abridged Retrospective. I will see y'all later. And as always, keep things metal.